soul is glowing. Heat of the moment, I feel it growing like trees. Oh, 77 degrees, soft like a breeze. Oh, 77 degrees, 7 degrees. Feel it growing like
Can you see the stars? We're just running forward in the dark. You knew just what my soul needed. Two hearts, we share the same beating. Is this what it feels like? Coming back to real, coming back to real life. Give me the daydream. Only come out at night, but we're still looking for a sign. When I wake up, oh, I can't help but to wonder, is this even real? Don't wanna miss a thing, so still wide awake. Only come out at night, but we're still looking for a sign. When I wake up, oh, I can't help but to wonder, is this even real?
guys? What's up? How's everyone doing? Is the green screen on? I don't think it is. All right. So let's get this going. We got some people joining here, which is good. What's up over on Twitch? Bill Q, not you. PJ Stunna 24. What's up? What's going on? The Cat, CB, Trader Imp, Bankroll, JP, Mez, Cryptopreneur John. What's up, What's up, guys? So, what a great day for a video on shitcoins, huh? What a great day for hay. So, really quickly, guys, I just want to kind of tell you about what this new stream is going to be. So, if you guys remember, if you're a real Trader Mayne OG fan, and we used to do the altcoin series, right? So I'd talk about altcoins, and it just kind of faded off as the market kind of turned. And then in my regular streams, you guys know me, I talk a lot, right? So I'm constantly talking about Bitcoin, about Ethereum, about the dollar, about equities. And by the time, we kind of get into it, it's too late and I haven't covered any shitcoins. And I'm constantly getting requests from you guys, hey, look at my shitcoin. I, Trader Mayne, classify any coin that is not basically Bitcoin or Ethereum as a shitcoin. And even those are shitcoins, but those are like the OGs. I guess you can consider LTC really the OGest of shitcoins, but I consider basically anything that's not Bitcoin or Ethereum a shitcoin. Okay, so I'm not just talking about micro caps or meme coins. I'm talking about all altcoins in general. They're all shit coins. What up, SZ? How you doing, homie? Better be on your best behavior. SZ is quick with the ban hammer. So I never have time to talk about shit coins. So I feel bad because you guys are always asking me. You want me to look at your coins. You want me to look at your bags and give you some good news. Usually it's bad news, but maybe you might get lucky. It might be some good news. I don't know. So I wanted to kind of up the YouTube game by doing a second video every week. So right now we have our normal markets with Mayne stream. We like those. We're going to continue with those. The condensed streams will still be coming out usually the day after, thanks to the editor. This is going to be a stream where I specifically focus on shitcoins. So I've just picked a few here kind of out of my ass. There's a few things I want to get into and I want to talk about with regard to altcoins in general. But overall, this is going to be a lot of, influx from you guys, right? If you have a coin that you want me to check out, I'll send out a tweet during the week saying, hey guys, what coins do we want to talk about on Shitcoin Summers? I don't know what we'll do when summer ends, but we'll think of a new name. And it'll be a little bit more interactive in that sense. So before the stream, I'll set out a tweet. You guys let me know what coins you want me to look at, and then we will look at them. I don't know if I'll have a condensed version of this done up because I don't know if it's necessary. But we will see. I do think it should be interesting because it's different than what I normally talk about. I generally stick to just Bitcoin and Ethereum charts. It doesn't mean I'm not dabbling in the shit coins. Doesn't mean I'm not doing a little bit of DeFi. Is it my forte? No, but I would be stupid to not, at least play around with some of this stuff and try and buy some of these coins and maybe try and hit a home run. But I know exactly what I'm, looking for, and what I'm willing to lose and what I'm willing to risk when it comes to these, coins. And so hopefully outside of just looking at some charts, I can impart some wisdom upon y'all in terms of someone who's been around the space for a long time and has seen a lot of altcoins be the next big thing, only to fade slowly into oblivion. So I think it's going to be good. I hope you guys like it. We're on the march for 40K subs on YouTube. We're getting close. We're like 500 away. So I would really like to get to that 40K 100K sub mark soon, and I think having another video every week that's coming to you guys is going to be beneficial. So this video series is generously being sponsored by SmartX. So shout out to the SmartX team for reaching out to me and allowing us to kind of come to an agreement to put these videos out there for you guys. So I really appreciate that. Without these types of companies wanting to work with me and stuff, I wouldn't be able to do the things that I do, pay the editor and continue to put out these videos for you. So SmartX is going to be where I think is a great place to trade these shitcoins that we're going to talk about. It's DeFi. It's a DeFi platform. And really what they're trying to do is address one of the biggest issues with DeFi, which is around impermanent loss. So impermanent loss effectively, as you guys know, is when there's a change in price of the tokens compared to when that person deposited them into a pool. So a lot of DeFi protocols like Uniswap, things like that, they allow people to become market makers. They're earning some trading fees, but there's still that risk of impermanent loss. It's called impermanent because there is obviously the chance that the token price can rebound. But it is still a big risk that is put onto the end user there. If the price of the token decreases significantly from when it was deposited to the pool, that can end up being, quite a risk that you have to deal with. So they're trying to effectively change the way that this is looked at, change the way that this is done. It's quite innovative. So they're managing impermanent loss, and they're actually aiming to change that into potentially impermanent gain by allowing people to get fees, get rewards, and it's a very innovative product in the space. I highly suggest that you guys check them out. They actually have a simulator right on their website here where you can go and look at price history of certain tokens and see how they would have fared using kind of your standard DEX like a Uniswap versus doing so on SmartX. So SmartX is right now on Ethereum. It will be becoming multi-chain soon. At that point, the token itself, SDEX, will become deflationary. So every single transaction, there will be a buyback and burn of the token. So it will become deflationary. And so you can actually put in any tokens you want on here and see what the potential impermanent loss would have been using a site like Uniswap versus what you would have been dealing with SmartX and the smart rewards that you're getting, hence the name. So pretty cool. I highly suggest you guys check this out. I appreciate the team over at SmartX for getting in contact with me and for working on this. And I'm excited to bring you guys another weekly video. So with that out of the way, I actually want to get started on not TradingView, okay? But I wanted to get started on CoinMarketCap. And this is a very, where did my face go? There I am. This is a very good, I think, lesson for those of you that are relatively new to crypto, and maybe you weren't around for the last cycle. Maybe you weren't around for 2017, 2020, even more recently. A lot of you, I'm sure, weren't around in 2013. Some of you might not have even been born in 2013. So I want you guys to take a look at some of the data that I am about to pull up here. And I want your opinion on whether or not you think, right, that all shitcoins are going to last forever and that your project that maybe you have your moon bag in, that's the best thing you can do, with your money. So a good way to kind of understand what I mean here is I want you to go look. Let's go to 2017. So the top in 2017 was when? Around December? Not quite. Let's do December 17th. Pretty damn close. So this is effectively the prices and market caps, volume, all that shit of the top performing coins, not last bull market, but the bull market before. I want you to take a look at this list of coins here. How many of these coins still existed in 2020, and how many of these coins actually outperformed any of the new coins that came out in 2020? So your DeFi run, right? DeFi summer, things like Solana, metaverse tokens. Did any of these coins you see here outperform Solana or outperform Sand? Like, even though those are still shit coins, right? Some more than others. Did any of these 2017 coins really, do you even recognize some of these coins? So Bitcoin was at 20,000. Ethereum was at 700. Bitcoin Cash was at $1,800. Okay. Litecoin, $318. Cardano, 50 cents. IOTA, $4. Dash, $1,100. This is peak bull market euphoria. Literally days after this, the market was cut in half 50%. Bitcoin Gold, $300. EOS, $8. Ethereum Classic, $35. Tron, 3 cents. So realistically, guys, what I'm trying to demonstrate here is that most of the shit coins from the old cycle fall off the map. They fade away into oblivion. Sometimes they stick around, but even if they do stick around, they generally underperform the new stuff, right? They underperform the new shit. So the reason I think this is important to pay attention to and important to know, right, is I'm not saying all coins. Someone in the chat just said, well, Matic stuck around. Sure, right? Matic, that's an exception. That's not the rule. On average, on the whole, like Preparation H, feels good on the whole. Most of these coins are not going to outperform the new shit. Why? Right? Why? Well, there's a lot of reasons why. The new stuff has the new hype, right? New promises being made. It's revolutionary. You know, it's got this strong community that's, you know, appeared of people who bought it. There's no bag holders on a new coin, right? When a new coin comes out, right, there's no bag holders. I mean, obviously there's lockups and things like that. We're not going to get into that. I just mean from like a sense of a coin that pumped in 2017, right? There are so many people. Think of how many people. Let's look at ETC here. Okay, so what was the price of that I showed you guys in December 17th? So ETC is Ethereum Classic. Okay, it was trading at $34 in 2017. So this actually ended up having a larger, oh, this doesn't have enough history. How is this as far back as it goes? Here we go. 2017. Okay, so here was the over. So this is a terrible example, is my first example, because it ended up having another big run here in this last bull market. So bad example. Let's find one that maybe wasn't as good looking. Let's look at, look at something shitty like this. Oh my God, that's too shitty. We need a better example here, guys. Let's see. Can't use BitConnect, can I? You know what? I'm gonna stick with ETC. And here's my point. Okay, so this was a top performing coin in 2017. Okay? This was a top performing coin in 2017. And it had a run in 2020. Okay, this thing went from $7. I don't know if you can count that wick is super accurate, but I mean, it had a 1,500% move. So let's look at the COVID bottom here. So where's COVID? Where is it? It's in China. Okay, where's COVID here? Here? Just skip through COVID? September, October, November. Okay. Jesus Christ. Gotta go way back here. Okay, here's COVID. So let's take from the absolute COVID low and let's go to the highs. Now, this is nothing to snuff at, right? Like, this is a large gain. I'm not saying you bought the Pico lows and you're selling at the Pico high. You know, this had a massive multiple. A lot of these coins had big multiples in this last bull run. LTC had a big multiple, right? Come on, click. Right? LTC went up over 1,000%. A lot of this stuff went up, right? But did it go up as much as some of the new stuff? So if we look at some of the new stuff, so let's go to the same time period here, but for the 2020 cycle. So let's see, when's Bitcoin? No, that's too low. Where do I want to see Bitcoin at? Oops. Okay, let's go December, November, December. We'll pick here. We'll pick April because the second spike was kind of bullshit. This should be near the top. Pretty damn close, okay? So notice how, first of all, the list here has changed, right? Like, is LTC still up there? Yeah, it's still a top 10, right? But LTC's price at the peak euphoria of this last cycle is lower than it was in 2017. Right? So Litecoin, while still being a massive market cap coin, because it's been around and it still had, you know, a market cycle, it did not outperform something like a Solana, right? A new coin that's fresh for the 2020 cycle, right? This thing crushed Litecoin. What's some other brand new coins that we can look at here? I think Sand might be a good one here. Okay, we'll go down to the same period of time. If it even goes back that far, I don't know if it does. It doesn't, but we'll take from here. Okay, 5,000% on some of these new coins. What's some other coins? Like, let's look at, someone give me like a 2020 shitcoin special. Like, what's a new coin that just came out in 2020? Let's see here. AVAX, maybe? Oops. AVAX didn't even go that crazy. Oh my God, my dog just farted. It's disgusting. Blech, that's gross. God, bro, so nasty. Again, another 4,000% on something new, right? There's no bag holders. There's no people holding this coin from the last cycle, right? So if you look at, Axie is a good example. If you look at Litecoin here, as this rally happened in 2020, 2021, think of all the people who held Litecoin from $300+ for 3 to 4 years prior to that. There's that built-in overhead supply. There's people who have been holding this coin and are underwater and are waiting for an opportunity to get out anywhere closer to break even, right? Some people will hold this for 99% drawdown and then back up, right? So the new coin narrative, I think, is something that is super important, right? It's super important. Let's see. You guys are giving me some suggestions now. Yeah, FTM, great example, right? So obviously went on a humongous run. Axis, let's look at Axis. Again, another great example. Ginormous run. Now, I'm not saying you're buying here and you're selling here, obviously. What I'm saying, though, is there's no bag holders who own Axis from $150 already and are dumping on your head, right? Because they bought it several years ago. Sushi, another good example. And a lot of these coins look fucking cooked, right? They look like they are never coming back. Another, 40x plus. So I'm not saying that new coin or old coins can't have market cycles. I'm not saying that Solana can't make another new all-time high. Maybe it does, but maybe it just goes up to like 200 again. And that's still 20 to 200, right? That's still a 10x. That's great. But it's nothing compared to what some of these new coins are going to do, right? So just like last cycle, you had so many new coins come out, it smashed all of these kind of previous cycle coins, right? The EOSs, the ETCs, the LTCs, any sort of XRP is a great example, right? Like, yeah, it had a cycle, right? Like it went up in 2021, 700%. That's less than it went up in the 2017 run. And that's way less than the new shit, right? So for this upcoming cycle, whether you believe that it's already started and, we're in the beginnings of a bull market or not, it doesn't really matter. My whole point is, if you're looking for like long-term holds, you have to determine the balancing act between finding new stuff, new narratives. Let's say this cycle, one of the new narratives is AI. I think that's a pretty safe bet that AI is going to play a major role in this new cycle, right? There's going to be 100 different AI focused coins, and some of them are going to do insane multiples. And I'm confident that most of those AI coins, or a lot of those AI coins that go crazy, are going to go crazier than any sort of run that a token from the last cycle had, right? So even though Solana doesn't have to go anywhere, maybe the technology is still good, it can have another bull run, but it's not going to do as well as the new hot shit, okay? The new hot shit, on the whole, right, outperforms the previous cycle stuff. And that Coin Market Man website, right, all it's really showing you is that this changes quite a lot. What doesn't really change are these top two. And that's why I said basically everything but Bitcoin and Ethereum, I think long-term is a shitcoin. Doesn't mean it can't make money. Doesn't mean you won't make money on it. But I think as a rule of thumb, right, if you go back to, previous cycles several years ago, right, like where the fuck are any of these coins? Dogecoin's still around, XRP is still around, Bitcoin's still around, Dash still around, but like Purecoin, Counterparty, Namecoin. Doesn't mean that you can't make money. Look, Monero was around back then, but again, a lot smaller back then. But a lot of these coins fade into oblivion. And a lot of the coins that you bought in 2020, right, that were crazy hot. 2021. Going into the all-time highs here. Where's the fucking April, right? This is the run to all-time highs. I'm telling you, a lot of these coins are going to be nowhere to be found in the next cycle. And even though they might still exist, they aren't going to outperform the new stuff, the new shiny toy. And I think that's something that, a lot of people mess up in crypto, is they get this bag holder mentality saying, okay, well, I bought XRP here, right? And I sold it at $1.50 and I made a shitload of money, right? They're now emotionally attached to that coin, saying, hey, this coin made me money once, it went up before, it's going to go up again. There's old bag holders There's lack of execution on anything that a lot of these coins promise. Maybe XRP wins its case and it pumps like crazy. But like, is it gonna pump 300%? Like, are people who bought near all-time high gonna get out above water? Maybe several years from now. But in just terms of like looking for shit coins for the next cycle, my not financial advice would be to focus on the new shit. AI, LSD seems like it's going to be, not the drug, but LSD projects seem like they could be something interesting in this new cycle. AI for sure, right? Link is a perfect example. Like, I have nothing against Link, as a token. I don't know what the fuck Link does, to be honest with you. But if you held Link from the COVID low to the COVID high, did you outperform Ethereum? I don't think so. Right? You underperformed Ethereum. So like, if you look at Link ETH, right? Who's winning? And a lot of coins are going to look like this against Ethereum. There's going to be new shit that for a while is going to show me what I want. Yeah, so Solana had a good run, right? New coin, smashing ETH out of the park. How's it going now? Is this chart going to reverse? I don't know. Maybe. But a lot of coins versus just Ethereum, right, which should be your barometer, I think, for your shitcoining, right, are not going to outperform Ethereum. These old coins, I don't think are going to outperform Ethereum. Some of them will, and many of the new coins will initially. But over the long term, right, I don't know. Are they still going to be around? So there's so many, like back in 2013, even 2017, you could launch a coin with like a white paper just online that made some ridiculous promises and accomplished nothing. And the coin could go nuts, right? It was like Silicon Valley in the early days. You could have a napkin saying, hey, this is what we're going to do. We haven't done anything yet, but this is what we're going to do, and raise millions of dollars. I think it takes more to launch a project now, obviously meme coins aside, right? But that's how you have to think going into this next cycle. There's nothing wrong with wanting to trade Litecoin, with wanting to trade XRP, with wanting to trade BNB, Solana, whatever. But the stuff that's going to go fucking nuts, the stuff that's going to go crazy, maybe it's a meme. Maybe it's a new narrative, right? Maybe it is better technology. But in my opinion, for the most part, the new stuff is going to outperform the old stuff. I like how this guy says, how about Doge? Will Pepe flip it, and will it be the new blue chip meme coin? And then ask me if I even know, if I'm even in crypto, because I don't know what Link does. I don't know what fucking half the coins do. I'm a day trader. Like, I am trying to buy low, sell high, and buy back low. Like, that is how I make my money. I am not the guy that you come to if you're trying to figure out what the new narrative is going to be for an altcoin, or trying to get into a new narrative play early, or diving in the sewers of, shit coining. I'm not that guy. I lean on other people for that type of insight. I just trade the chart. And what I'm going to do in these videos is I am going to do what I do on Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? But for your shitcoins. So if you have a shitcoin that you want me to chart, this is going to be the stream for you. If you want me to say, hey, is this tradable? Where should I be potentially looking to buy and sell? This is going to be the type of stream for you. If you're trying to find a fanboy for a project, or if you're trying to find someone who is going to give you some alpha on the new hottest coin that's out there, it's just not going to be me. I'm a trader. So I'm going to map up any coins you want me to look at. I will chart them. I will give you levels of interest, potential trade ideas, that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know or really care what almost any of these coins do. I'm in crypto for making money. Be very clear about that. Not in crypto to be a community member. Okay, so Killa here has asked 3 or 4 times if I've gone over Pepe yet. I have not. So just from, and he just asked again, just from how many times you've asked, I am going to take a wild guess and say you own Pepe and you're maybe underwater. Am I right? Am I close? Yeah, like I'm not here to bullshit you guys and pretend like I'm some savant with fucking shit coins. I'm here to draw levels on coins that you want me to see and see if there's any potential trades, that kind of thing. So Killa, let's hear it. Are you in Pepe? And if so, where are you in from? Come on, brother. Don't be shy now. Don't be shy now. Let's pump those likes up, guys. Let's get to 100 likes. Come on. See now. No, I bought it 30 mil and sold today. 30 mil what? Like so like way down here? What's I don't even know how to read this fucking price. I guess is it in terms of Ethereum? So I guess you're saying you bought early and you sold today. What's up, Zark Fuckerberg? Okay, let's look at Pepe. So I pulled it up on BitGet here because I think this is the chart with the most amount of price history. Okay. So we'll start on the highest time frame available here. The monthly, completely useless, almost nothing. 30 mil market cap. There you go. Bag held the entire pump. What a fucking hero. At least he's honest about it. So yeah, I'll go over Pepe now. So looking at the chart here, we had an insane run, right? This does not even encapsulate the run that Pepe had, but in this 10-day span, it went up 2,000%. Okay? So it went crazy just since it got added to BitGet. It went nuts. But obviously, if you got into this really early, you bought it on a DEX, like SmartX, sponsors of this video. There are people I know who minted fortunes on this coin. Fortunes, right? With very little money, you know, putting in a couple $100, $1,000. And at the top, those small investments were worth millions, hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. Now, realistically, right? How many of those people who bought super early sold, right? For every person that bought early, made a fortune and sold, I bet you there's 10 people who bought early, held it all the way up and all the way back down. That's much more common. Very hard to know when to sell, especially when something appears that it is never going to go down, right? So this is a very good example of why I don't want to ignore shitcoins, right? Because but you have to go into it with the right mindset. So when I talk to you guys about regular trading, right? This guy says he may have made 5 figs from $10. That's nuts. That's nuts, right? But when I go into a regular trade, I always talk about R. You got to know what your risk is, right? So if my R is 5%, right? And let's assume my account is 100K. So my risk is $5,000 on this trade. Okay? And I think that Bitcoin is going to go from here to here and my stop is here. So if it goes like this and down here, I'm negative 5K. But if it goes up, right? If it goes up to here, I make 10K, right? 2 to 1 risk reward. So here's what's important about this concept, right? Is I know going into the trade what my risk is. That's one of the R's in RR, right? It's reward and risk. That beautiful handwriting. K is a little bit disabled, a little bit off. But the problem I think most people have with the way that they approach trades is that they go into it reward first. They say, okay, if I buy here and it goes to this price, I'm going to make this much money, right? And that's fine, right? That's fun. And trust me, I know all of you guys have done the math, the calculations, right? You've all done the, I own this many of this coin, and if it goes to this price, I make this much, right? Everyone has done that. I have done that. I'm confident you have done it. If you say you haven't done it, I think you're lying. I own 10 Bitcoin. Bitcoin's at 10K. If it goes to 100K, right, I have $1 million. It's the Excel math, right? It's the extrapolation. Oh, I have this much. If I made $1,000 trading today, if I do that every day, I'm going to make $365,000 this year, right? But that's not realistic, right? Because you're not going to make $1,000 every single day. You might make $1,000 today. You might make $3,000 tomorrow. But then the next day, you might lose $5,000. Now where are you at, right? So you can't go in my opinion, with a reward first mindset because there is no downside, right? Like naturally, I think as people in crypto, we're optimistic. We think our bags are going to pump. We think it's up only. It's way better being a bull than it is being a dirty, disgusting bear, right? These are all things that are true. But if you have that type of mindset, you're not prepared for what is, in my opinion, a more likely outcome, which is you losing money. I am right around half the time, sometimes even less, 40 to 50% of the time, my trades are right. So how am I making money if I'm right only for 40 to 50% of the time? Well, I have that asymmetric risk reward, right? For every $1 I risk, I want to make at least 2, right? So how much am I going to lose? Okay, if I'm wrong, based on that calculation, the most money I'm going to lose is 5K, right? Well, if I go into that with that mindset and I'm prepared to lose that 5K, there's no stress, right? There's no super stressed out, oh my God, I'm underwater. Do I close early? You already know, right? You already know the worst case scenario. And the worst case scenario is that you lose 5K. I want you to take this same logic and apply it to your shitcoining, right? So when I'm diving in the shitcoin depths, right? It's muted. Why is it doing this? Hold on. It's going to come back. Hold on. I don't know why it does this, man. Like, okay, can you hear me now? Muted on Twitch. I don't know, guys. I'm sorry. If you're on Twitch, maybe go over to YouTube because it's still working on YouTube. Okay, so you guys can still hear me over here on YouTube? Okay. So, what you need to do is you need to treat your shitcoining the same as your trades. Okay, so when I'm getting involved in projects that I want to punt on, I wish I would have thrown some cash at a Pepe, right? Or whatever. I didn't. Okay, but I go into those types of deals. So generally you're trading with Ethereum here in DeFi. I'm putting in the amount of Ethereum that I am willing for it to go to zero, right? The exact same logic that I have with my trade where it's like, okay, I'm willing to risk 5K on this day trade. Well, maybe I'm willing to risk 1 Ethereum on this shitcoin play. So it's not how much am I going to make if this goes to, a fucking billion, right? It's how much am I going to lose if I am completely and utterly wrong? And if it's 1 Ethereum and I'm prepared to lose that 1 Ethereum, right? Then there's no stress. It's not that big of a deal. You already know the worst case scenario. And the worst case scenario is you lose that 1 Ethereum, right? So you need to treat your shitcoins the same way. Because what's going to happen is you are going to play a shitload of coins at the same time, right? And all of a sudden you might realize that you have 10 Ethereum out at risk. Well, what if something like today happens and everything gets fucking crushed, right? Are you prepared to take that loss? And so it's the same thing with trading, right? If you only want to risk 5% of your account, that could be 5% on 1 trade. That could be 1% on 5 trades. So I suggest you do the same thing with your shitcoins. Know exactly what you're willing to lose. Know how much you're prepared to lose if you're wrong on your idea. Because a lot of these coins are going to have market cycles like this where the getting is good for a very small amount of time. And then all of a sudden, everything fucking implodes and the joyride is over and you're left with your dick in your hand, right? Did you take any profit, right? So that's how I approach my shitcoining, right? Is from that type of perspective. YouTube is not receiving enough data for your stream. I'm just trying to see what this fucking issue could be. It's not my internet connection. My internet is fucking mint. I'm not signing out and signing in. I don't know. You guys are just going to have to deal with it for now. I'm sorry. Okay, so keep that in mind, guys. When you're doing these shit coins, right? When you're looking at these shit coins, you're trying to figure out which ones to buy. Go into it with a risk-first mindset. Before you punt anything, right? Make sure it's an amount that you are prepared to lose, or that if you round trip it, you're not going to be so upset that you're going to want to end it all. Okay, so let's look at Pepe. There's not a ton here on the super high time frames because it hasn't been on centralized exchanges that long. I think for future videos, I might have to start using a charting software that allows me to look at some of these coins that maybe aren't on centralized exchanges yet. But for now, we're looking at Pepe. If you just use the daily chart, right? This has been a clear blow off the top, but this is the first area, in my opinion. This would be the first area that my eyes would get drawn to. Okay, it came into this zone and it bounced almost 100% out of it. Right? Came into the zone again here. Bounced 20%. Now we're deep into this area. So if we lose this order block is what I would call it, right? If we lose this order block here, I think that it's very likely that we trade below this low and down into this consolidation way down here. So that is another, could be a 50% plus drop. Just to this low is another 20%. Dex screener. Okay, that's good to go. Didn't see a Telegram message before the stream. That's strange. Oh, I never hit enter. My bad. That's a little late. Okay. So, in my opinion, right, I'm not touching this thing high time frame here. Like, this looks extremely weak. This just looks like lower high, lower high. But what I want to show to you here is that the stuff that I use on Bitcoin and Ethereum to trade, it works on these shitcoins. Okay? So if you follow me, is this not a bearish order block right here? Lower high. This is now your bearish order block. Lower high. This is now your bearish order block. Lower high. And then I think this one, it front ran it just a little. So it didn't quite come up and test this one here. But each one of these up candles in this downtrend, except for this one and this one, got retested before selling off further. Right? So you can still use, there's an element of shitcoining that is getting in early, having some sort of tip or some sort of alpha, some sort of inside information about a project. There's the meme of it all, right? The mimetic potential of a Pepe going nuts, right? But once it starts trading, especially when there's decent liquidity, I find that they trade relatively clean in terms of price action. And so what do I mean by that? I mean things like swing failure patterns combined with order blocks and S supply and demand, whatever you want to call it. So you have an SFP into an order block and you get a big reaction there, right? You have a breaker here. And so all the stuff that I go over, and then within this breaker, you have an SFP. And then you have another breaker that caused that SFP right here. Right? Down candle for the up move that took out a high, broke below, retest, sold off. Right? So there's a lot of, here's another SFP. So as much as there's a aspect of shitcoining that is purely fundamentals, whatever the fuck you want to call it, it's not the chart, right? I find that the chart, especially when they become more liquid and things start trading, with more volume, more people, the PA actually turns out is pretty clean, right? Like this is a bread and butter trader Mayne setup right here. I'm going to show you. Okay. So you have a 12-hour SFP there, right? What happens after you get the SFP? Breaks down. You have your break in market structure, your pullback into your previous consolidation or your previous order block or supply zone, and then you get the sell-off. Same thing right here, right? You have an H1 SFP. Way down on the M5, you are going to get a breaker play right here. And you get the break in market structure, the retest, and then the sell-off. This is the same stuff that I teach you guys every week on stream. PA concepts, right? SFPs, order blocks, breaker blocks, but I'm using it on fucking Pepe coin because it works the same, especially once the coins really get trading. So I am not the guy for telling you about the newest. Sorry, one sec here. Jesus fucking Christ. Ezzy, you're a bad man. You're a bad man. Let me just say, that just made me a little horny. That's all, just a little. If you get it. Okay. So again, fundamentals. What is the next fucking coin? What's the next meme coin? I am not the guy. There's a bazillion people on Twitter and Telegram and Discord and YouTube that are going to tell you that they found the next 1000x. That is not me. But what I am going to share with you is the stuff that I go over in my regular videos can be applied to these shit coins that you guys are trading. Support and resistance, supply and demand, whatever you want to call it, it works on these coins, right? Like this is a downtrend. You have lower highs and lower lows, right? So you can then look to sell into bearish order blocks, right? And on the buy side, it works too, right? Like this is obviously, going to shit right now, but let's see if we can find, what's like a new, someone give me a new coin that went crazy recently and I'll draw some charts on it. But Pepe, for just a quick high level, I think trades lower, especially the way Bitcoin is looking right now, right? I think we take out that low right there for sure. And just Bitcoin went down, 5% today. What did Bitcoin do today? %. Pepe's down like 25%. So you want to be careful holding these coins when the big ones really start to move. The Bitcoins, the Ethereums, when those start to go, right? You got to be careful holding some of these shit coins. Okay, someone asked for Inge. So this. All right, so this is your chart. I mean, this looks more bullish than a lot of other coins. There's a lot of coins that look much worse than this. But if I had to guess where this trades to next, I think it trades to down here next. That would be my best guess. Is down towards 360 to 430. This weekly zone. To me, you have a swing low right here. I think this is the next likely destination for this coin. So low time frame, right? 12-hour low time frame relative to the weekly. All right, we have our lower time frame range here. We just ran the lows. With an SFP, but in my opinion, down into here, down into here. That's my view on. Inge, right? But again, this is some random coin I'd never heard of. I wouldn't consider this like Pepe level, right? This has been around a while longer. It's trading on Binance. But this seems like the draw is lower for me. So again, these videos, guys, you can suggest any coin other than Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's the whole point of it. And I'll look at the BTC pairs. I'll look at it versus Ethereum. The idea here is I never have time to cover altcoins in my regular streams. So this is your opportunity to ask. It can be a large cap, a medium cap, a small cap. It can be a meme coin. I don't care. RNDR. So immediately what jumps out at me here, right, is we're into resistance for sure, right, based on the weekly. All right. We're coming into an area of interest. I like this more than I like some of those other coins or that other coin. But I do think that, you know, this area here, a little bit lower than we are now. I think that's a potential area down into this consolidation for a buy, like I'd be willing to buy or look to buy if this thing gets a dip. All right, so I don't know where this 12 hour is going to resolve, but let's assume it closes how it is. And then this is where I'd look for my potential setup. But this is a decent, right? This is a decent drop. So keep that in mind. But I would look to buy this a little lower when it comes into this kind of daily OB here, this daily breaker, right? And I think it can trade deeper into this, but this is kind of the area where it starts to look interesting. So I don't hate this one. I'm going to delete all of these, and I'm going to keep open just the ones that you guys bring up so we can track them from week to week. Right? Is that not where I drew Inge? Where did I do Inge? There we go. Okay. Inge, Pepe. We just did render. Okay. Let's, oops. Is this what I just drew? Why does this look different? RNDR. What the fuck one did I do? Okay, whatever. I'll redo it. I did it versus ETH. Well, that's no good, is it? Mong. Isn't that the one that what's his face? Bitlord owned a shitload of? So my view with the whole, like I like that video that Bitlord uploaded on this, like didn't he get this tattooed on the side of his head? So this shit looks pretty fucking dead. That tattoo might last longer than this coin lasts. I'm pretty sure the majority of that video was satire. I would like to think. Because if you held something up to a value of $25 million, it does not make you better, diamond-handed, big nuts, all that shit he was saying. It makes you an idiot. The only thing that you got in that situation is screwed yourself out of generational wealth. And I don't believe that that is the case. I would like to believe that that's not the case. They didn't have at one point $25 million worth of this. Also, was there even enough liquidity for when it was worth that much to even sell it without massively nuking price? I don't know. I think that's why I think it was more sort of in satire. Bitlord's been around grifting for a long time, and it's not going to change anytime soon, but he's good at what he does, and he's fucking funny. I'll give him that. But yeah, this looks fucking cooked. I mean, I don't know. Like, at what point does this look like a good buy? No point ever. Like, this would have to have some sort of massive reclaim of lows, right? So again, I don't think this is going to happen. But if you were to get above these lows, then you would target these lows. If you were to get above these lows, then you would target a move up. But I think this is more the type of coin that's just going to slowly break down, right? This seems much more realistic. But for a coin that works, that looks like this, a very easy way to chart it is take the last floor, right? And see if price can reclaim it. And then that is your easy trigger, right? Perfect example right here. There's your previous floor. Price came below it, rejected, sold off, right? If it would have reclaimed this floor here, maybe that it's worth longing. Chainlink, sure. You've been in my streams for a while, bro. You just got a glutton for punishment or what? Let's look at Link. So on the highest time frame, like the monthly, I would like to believe that this area gets a bounce. This is the consolidation before this run, right? So you have a bunch of lows here on the monthly. And then you have a monthly order block, monthly demand, whatever you want to call it. So I think a run of these lows and then some sort of reclaim on the lower time frame could absolutely be a trading opportunity. If you are a Link maxi, I mean, your Twitch name is Link Marines, right? When do you want to buy something? Well, you want to buy it when it's down a lot. I mean, we're almost down 90% at this point from, I believe this was the all-time high, $55. Is there another chart that has more history? No. So that is the all-time high. So in your favor, down 90% from all-time high into kind of the key demand zone that generated this massive move to the upside, right? So that's the good news, right? I guess. This is an area where I think a trade could form. Would I accumulate Link long-term here? Personally, no. I'm not interested in holding Link. I know a ton of people who made a ton of money on Link. That's great. And if you've made a ton of money on Link and you think you're going to make a ton more, good for you. I hope you do. But in terms of, where you want to accumulate, generally, yeah, it's that full retrace. So we're basically at the full retrace of the move. And you have monthly demand here. You have some lows stacked right below it here. Go down to the weekly. Looks even better, right? In terms of like, hey, this is what I see kind of, on something like this. I see this very common thing you see guys on Twitter post, right? So you have your accumulation, right? Manipulation. I might have gotten these colors wrong. And then your distribution, right? But this looks like a prime candidate. I don't even know what colors they're supposed to be. I think they're blue, green, and red. This looks like a prime candidate for that type of a move, right? And this is a very similar move to what we had on Bitcoin at the FTX level, right? So you had your accumulation, manipulation, then distribution of that move, right? So ICT calls this the power of three. This is a whole bunch of shit and names and all that fucking kind of good stuff. But effectively, right, the idea, price is accumulating for a long time. There's a significant area of liquidity here. As you can see, all these lows built up over the last year. This is a year-long consolidation. Like, how much pain are you in as an Ethereum holder or a Link holder when over the last year, right? There's your purgatory. I mean, it's a decently sized range, and there's for sure trades in there. But like, you know, when you see some of the other stuff that's going up, right? And your coin is doing this, that can be annoying. Bro, if you fart one more time, I'm sending you fucking to the moon, buddy. One hit, one uppercut. But this looks like something that absolutely, I think, could play out on a coin like Link, right? Is a run of those lows and then, excuse me, and then a move in the other direction quite quickly. And I talked about this with the Bitcoin FTX move, right? Is you have your consolidation, a move below, and a move back above. Well, now your risk is defined. Okay, if this is going to play out, we should not go below here, right? So that helps you a lot. So let's leave this on Link, and who knows, maybe when I come back to this, at the rate it's moving, 2 years from now, it'll have played out. Would you say, this is an interesting question, would you say that for someone brand new to trading, it is guaranteed to make at least $30 a day from trading? I would not say that at all. What a weird thing to say. I'd say it's much more likely that you lose all of your money than it is that you make any at all. And even if you make money, the likelihood of you actually withdrawing that money or selling that coin into stables and then potentially withdrawing that to real world money into your bank account is also very, very low. So user 1234 says, why is my trading strategy profitable when I back test, but not when I trade? Is it a psychological problem? Could be a lot of things, bro, right? One, are the conditions of your back testing legit, right? Because if you're back testing, but you already know what was going to happen, right? If you're back testing on Bitcoin and you already know Bitcoin's going to go up or down, is that a true back test? You already know the result. That's going to skew what you look for, right? So I suggest back testing. You should be doing it either using like some sort of replay tool. The TradingView one's okay. There's better ones you can use, and do it on some chart you're not familiar with. There's a very good chance the things you're doing in your back test, you are not doing with the live money, right? Because the back test is perfect conditions. You have all the time in the world to make your decision. You're probably cherry picking examples that work. Nothing is going to simulate real live trading conditions. I think backtesting can be valuable if done properly. Maybe that's something I can do a video on in the future. But I think forward testing is a lot better. Obviously, from the psychological standpoint, you have actual money on the line. Backtesting is not there's no risk of loss, right? So when you have real money on the line, it changes things. It's going to change how you view things. You might close early. You might hold too long. There's a whole bunch of things that can happen. Real world live trading. So there's nothing wrong with back testing, right? But I think forward testing is going to be a lot better in terms of getting usable data, because the likelihood that you're back testing properly and being like legit and true to it is probably pretty low. Okay, this guy keeps saying Caspa. Again, no idea what this does. It's into potential demand. Right, so potential demand here. You've got that deep wick into it, and you're getting a bounce there. But now we're trading back down. So yeah, there's demand here. I would argue that where is this? I don't know. It looks like that low for sure is going to get taken out. But this could be a higher low. I would like to maybe see it come down into the here, below that low. So there's potential that this is becoming, you know, a higher low, I guess from a PA perspective. A little bit lower and then up, and then I don't know, target this high and then this high and then figure it out from there. But yeah, it's coming into an area that should be support. You've got a test there that's shown you there is some sort of reaction there. So I would probably wait for like a run of this low or even a sweep of this low, right? So like an SFP or a breakdown and quick reclaim within this higher time frame order block to potentially frame a trade. Let's get some more. I'll add this to the list here. Caspa. So then the next video, I'll go over all the old ones. We'll see if anything happened, and then we can go on to the to new coins. A0. Is there one with more price history than this? Not really. Okay, this has the most price history here. I want no border. Is that what I wanted to do? Yeah, okay. So monthly order block here. Nothing really on the weekly. H12 is putting in a bullish SFP here. So something you could watch, right? I think on the 12-hour, right, I would need to see this, right? I guess it's this. Like I'd want to see on the H12, right? I'd want to see a move above this high. So it swept the low. I want to see it now get above here. And then, you know, I would be interested in getting in longs on something like this. And there's a lot of highs here that could be targeted if it were to, you know, reclaim here. So still too early to tell if this is reversing. But this is an interesting area, right? We're in that monthly order block. You can refine this down on the weekly. I think it's the exact same though, right? We're in it. We're in it right now. Filled in this little gap here. Have that 12-hour SFP. So now if we get a 12-hour market structure shift, which means a new high here above this high, so this becomes your MSB level, then I could be interested in you know, a long on something like this. So we'll add that over here. Have I looked at gold or euro yet? This is a shitcoin only stream, bro. You got to tune into the regular stream if you want that kind of shit. Okay, let's get a few more, guys. GMX. Why did I use the H12? I just like the H12 because it gives me a little bit more detail than the daily. Just one more candle. But it's not it's not that much of a difference, right? So if you don't have TradingView Premium and you can't get the H12, just use the daily. It's not different. Okay, so GMX, we'll add this here, GMX USDT, right? Okay. So again, weekly chart, you have demand here. You can see we tested it once. Very nice reaction. We're now testing it again. I would like to see this weekly candle close as a bullish SFP if I'm a bull on this thing, right? So if I'm bullish on this, I know it's only Monday, but I would want to see price close back above $52.38. I would like that weekly candle to close above this white line. So the H12, we've run a low from over here. I don't love that it's closed through all these lows. It doesn't give me a ton of confidence that it's not going to trade lower. So I'd keep an eye on this low if we SFP this low. So maybe we get another candle close here, and then a run of this low, and then some sort of reclaim. That could be something interesting to me. Or similar to the last chart, if it reclaims this order block here, puts in a bullish market structure break, then I like it. But just based on how the weekly is trading and the 12 hours trading right now, I wouldn't touch this one yet, especially with the way the rest of the market is looking. Very good chance that we can still run below this low, and then maybe we put in a reversal, but it's in an area to pay attention to. So like with a coin like this, right, if we're in a weekly order block, I'm looking at the H12, the daily, the 4 hour for clues that the bulls might be stepping in, right? So if this is our weekly order block, I'm going to be on the H12 or the H4, and I'm going to be looking for what? I don't know, a low that gets broken and then reclaimed. Okay, that's a clue. And then if we break market structure the other way, that tells me, right, that there's demand here and there might be buyers stepping in. So that's the kind of stuff I'm looking for in a zone like this, right? In a zone like this, I want to see this kind of PA form on the H12, on the H4. And as you can see, we don't have it yet. We have a low that's run, right? But there's no reclaim yet. There's no MSB yet. So it still needs more time. I still need to see more. But that's the kind of stuff I'm looking for, right? I want clues that the bulls might be stepping in, and it's vice versa for the bears, right? So if there's a bearish order block, I want to see the reverse happen, right? If we're in a bearish order block, I want to see highs get run, then broken back below, right? And then breaking market structures in the other direction. Okay, Gala. I mean, so many of these charts are just oof. Oof. See how many times I had to fucking scrunch there just to see where the top was? Gala's not looking so hot, bro. Jesus Christ, I didn't even remember it being that high. That's crazy. Okay. So, on the weekly, right, we have an area of interest, I'd say here. Right? So this thing has been getting absolutely crushed. And there's a good chance it continues to get absolutely crushed. Right? But what I want to see is signs of a reversal. So if this is going to go up, right? This is going to go up. I need to see the idea that the trend is changing. So you have a little bit of a clue here, right? Like we had a nice close through there. So is this maybe the higher low? I don't know. Similar to that other coin, a zero, I think it was, or GMX, maybe it was. There's GMX, right? I would like to see the weekly closes in SFP of this low. That would be nice. SFP of this low, so that means a weekly close above, 0.026, whatever the low is here. I would like to see that on the weekly. But again, we're in an area on the weekly of interest. There's some early signs that potentially this could be an area where the bulls want to step in because you have your demand that caused a market structure break. We're now returning to it. You have this old low that we've traded below, and now you have this consolidation. We're trading below there. So to me, very similar chart to this, right? No long trigger here right now. This looks like a fresh low, right? Lower high, low, high, lower high, lower low. We close through the low. So for me to get interested in something like this, I need to see a reclaim, ideally of here. That would be where I'd have some confidence. Here is kind of maybe your first clue, but above this one is where it gets interesting because we could very well get above here, trade up to this one, and then nuke. And this is just another lower high and another lower low, right? So this is the key, right? So that graph I'm always drawing, you guys, right? Right, where I see, okay, we've got our low here, lower low, this level here that I want to see get flipped. So first step, the reclaim, then the MSB, right? So that's the kind of shit I'd want to see. So nothing for me here on this chart, but in an area that I would pay attention to, like if you want to long this thing, this is the area that you need to pay attention to. This is a huge zone, 50% zone. This can trade all the way down into here. I'm not just saying buy here and put your stop there. I'm just saying if this is a weekly area of potential demand, keyword being potential, right? Then I am going to look on the low time frames for signs that that demand is actually there. Because you can have an order block and price can nuke right through it, right? I need to see signs that there's actual buyers interested here, right? I need to see lows get run, highs get broken, things like that. What's up, man of the bounce? Yeah, we can look at LTC. Why not? Because the halving is coming up in a couple months. Let's look at LTC. So I was very bullish on LTC last bull run. Like I was convinced that we were going to make new all-time highs, and I don't think we did, or I think we came very close, but just barely made new all-time highs and then fully retraced, right? So I was very bullish on LTC last bull run. I got long early, and one of my most profitable trades was on LTC. But the issue was it underperformed like everything else. So while I was just begging for LTC to do a 2 or 3x, so many of my homies and other people on Twitter were long Solana and all the new DeFi tokens and all that shit, and absolutely smoked me from like a percent return basis, because I was long some old shit that has bag holders and yada yada yada. So we have the halving narrative, right? The halving narrative for LTC coming up in a few months here. It's at an interesting spot in that, we put in a decent bounce from demand, right? So just like on all these other charts, I'm doing the same thing here. You have your monthly order block. We came into it, right? And if you look on the weekly, We got a run of a low. We got a break of a high. Like, so it's been kind of grinding upwards. Obviously, I think if you look at how Bitcoin looks, this is what you're going to want to pay attention to, right? Because if Bitcoin is going to trade deeper, LTC is going with it, having or not, it does not matter. So we want to watch the rest of the market, obviously. But right now, I would argue that like this is kind of your trading range from here to here. And I know this is a huge range, but ideally, I want to be long below the 50% of the range. That's the ideal scenario. If it's going to continue higher, I'd like to be long below the 50%. So going into halving, what could happen? Well, I don't know, but you've got some lows here. So maybe we get a deeper pullback on LTC along with Bitcoin. Maybe we run both of these lows. Maybe we just run this one. But if we get some sort of bullish reaction after running this low, because look, we just took out this 12-hour high. So we took out this 12-hour high. In my opinion, it's quite likely that this 12-hour low gets taken out next. How we react around this low is something to pay attention to, in my opinion. And that could line up with over the next few weeks, we trade lower, right? We run this low and then we make a higher low here in July, leading into some sort of halving pump. I don't know. I don't need to predict 10 moves in advance, but just looking at this chart as it is, regardless of narrative, I think the next obvious place for price to go is below this 12-hour low at $76. And that would line up with Bitcoin pulling back further. Now, where would that idea change? I think it's very simple. If we start trading above here, right? And I mean, above here first, but if we start trading above 102.50, like I think that's an easy long for much higher prices. Just like on Bitcoin here, right? I wanted to see us get above this range high to get long towards 32K. We never did. We swept it, but we never got above the range high and held there. So same idea for an LTC. I'd want to see it. If it gets above the range high, then by all means, I think pile into longs on this thing. Otherwise, I would like to see if it runs this low, and then that's an area I might be interested in. ARB. Is there a better chart? Hate that. Okay, we'll just use this. So, I mean, the weekly, still very early, right? But you can see we traded below this low and we've never really closed below there. And this weekly candle could be an SFP of this. So something to keep your eye on. But looking at this, there, bang, there. Like, I would say your trading range is here on ARB. And similar to LTC, this one is trading below the 50% already. You got a nice little potential sweep here. It's rebounding quite nicely, like the hourly. Decent little bounce off the lows there. But I'd say this is your trading range on ARB that I would focus on right now. If we reclaim the 50, right? I think you can trade it up into here at least. And then that's where it gets interesting. Because it either rejects from here and then goes to the range low, or if it reclaims this, which is right next to the range high, then I think you can have a really nice long. So that's kind of the pivot I would be focusing on ARB here, is this candle right here. I would focus on this. If we get some sort of bounce, let's see what happens up here. Because I think there's a good chance that from here, if we reclaim this, it becomes kind of like a breaker. Trade it higher. If we reject here, I think range low comes back to like $1. I know a lot of you guys are asking me to look at the SDEX token. Guys, this stream is sponsored, right, by SmartX, and they do have a token. But because I want to be as transparent with you guys as possible, I do not want to comment on a token or a project, a company, right, that is paying me, because then I have a bias, right, built in. I'm not going to, I don't want to shit on something that's paying me. I also don't want to make it seem like I'm shilling you something where I am directly incentivized because, I'm partnered with them. So I don't want to comment on the price of the token. You guys can check it out. You guys can look at it, but I feel like there's just a conflict of interest. Like, you'll see this all the time on Twitter. You'll see people post some, big accounts, they'll post a shitcoin chart, right? And it's like a 50 million market cap coin. That person, I'm confident a lot of the time, has been paid likely in the token by that team to make that post. So whether or not they're actually bullish on it, they're directly incentivized to post that and try and get you to buy it. So I appreciate the SDEX team for sponsoring these videos. I'm happy to share their product and talk about the product itself, but I don't want to comment on the price of the token because I don't feel comfortable doing that. I feel like that's disingenuous to you guys. Right? So it's a great project. They've got a great team. It's been great working with them. But in terms of speculating on the price of something that I'm, have a financial incentive of, I think that's disingenuous. And I don't want to do that to you guys, right? So do your own research as with everything. Okay. How do you manage the mental gymnastics of holding spot, taking contradictory positions in derivatives? I really struggle with the conviction side of things. You need to treat them both as trades, right? So your spot trade, right, is going to be a swing trade, right? Or a positional trade, a very long-term trade. So it's going to have its own entry criteria, its own risk, and its own target. So you're going to have that. Let that thing cook, let it percolate. And any trades you take in the meantime are separate. Whether you need to have multiple accounts, you need to have a sub account on the exchange, whatever you need to do to separate the two, or if you own your spot holdings off of the exchange, right? Like you hold it on a ledger or something like that, or not ledger anymore. We're Team Trezor now, I guess. But that is what I would suggest, is treat them as two completely different trades. One does not interfere with the other, right? You have your spot trade and you might be long Bitcoin from 20K, but you might be short on leverage from 28K because maybe it's going to go down to 24 and then it's going to go up again. They're two separate trades, right? Mayne, your honesty and transparency is the reason I love your channel. Please keep up the alpha. Sent from Oz. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, guys, we're coming up on an hour and 45 minutes here. So I'm going to take two more suggestions here, and then we'll end this video. As I mentioned at the start, this is a new series. So shout out to the SmartX team for supporting me, for bringing this content to you guys. And these will come out every single week. I haven't picked what day I was going to do it. I was going to call it Shitcoin Saturdays But then I'm like, okay, am I gonna likely upload a video every Saturday? Probably not. So I'm still trying to figure out what day of the week I'm gonna do markets with Mayne. Usually I do that on Monday, and then maybe I'll do this on Wednesday or Thursday, but this will be out every single week, one of these videos, okay? All right, someone's been asking for Joe nonstop. Looks very similar to the ARB chart, doesn't it? Just in that brief instance there. All right, hit it, Jim. Or in this case, Joe. Neck. There's no way there's a neck coin. That's what I thought. Imagine if there was, and I didn't own 100% of the supply. 100% of the supply. Okay. Ow, I just hurt my fucking neck doing that. Jesus Christ, I'm getting old. Okay, so this is potentially in the realm of interesting for me, okay? So when you have a high time frame move like this, right? We move below the lows, and then it looks like we have a very bullish candle here, breaking monthly market structure, kind of in the other direction. So this actually is potentially very interesting to me. I think this is one that we should keep an eye on. No, why? Why is it never the one I want? What fucking one was I drawing on? Okay, what the fuck one was that? Joe USD. Which one was it? Was it this one? Yes, okay. So if I go here, right, we have, a breakdown and then a reclaim. This is what I was talking about, right? Like you want to see those lows get run and then reclaimed. Run the lows. We're back in. Retest the breaker that caused the run. And then bang, big move up. So this actually looks potentially interesting to me based on the monthly. Like this big gray box is a monthly area of interest. I would then dial it down to here, right? And I would say, okay, we've now got this weekly range here. It's a big range, but it's a range nonetheless. Okay, we ran the high. Now we traded back to demand. So I'd be looking for on the H12, I think, let's see here. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. I think I would look for maybe a little lower on the H12. Maybe below here. And then potentially a move up, or maybe below these lows, or even below this low. But I actually don't hate this chart as much as some of the other ones we've seen. Based on how the monthly looks, if we get a run below here, right, like a weekly SFP of that low, or if we just get some sort of 12-hour run of either of these lows here, this low or this low, I think that could potentially be an interesting buying opportunity. So I actually quite like Joe, just based on the monthly, right? Like this looks like this is what you want to see for a potential reversal. Like you look at some of these coins, like where's a good example? LTC, right? You're waiting for that big impulse to give you a sign that it's actually going to reverse, right? Same with Pepe. This thing's going to bleed. And then one day you're going to get a big candle, but then you need to see continuation, right? This was a big candle up, but lower high. Whereas Joe, right? We got that big, bleed, big candle that smacked all of these highs, new market structure high. So now just based on the monthly, right? Eliminate all your drawings here. Like you're just looking at this. You're saying, okay, is this the higher low? right? Like this is where it's going to form, this area, if it's going to be a higher low. So this one I don't actually hate. Would love to buy maybe a sweep of these lows. I don't know. Okay, this guy, because he said with love from India, I will look at VRA. Talk about F Ben. I fucking hate that guy. And I hate how much it gets under my skin because I've been here a long time, and I'll tell you right now, I don't have $30 million. Like, I've done well for myself. I don't have $30 million. And I certainly didn't give all the money that I've made handed to me. I had to risk a lot of my own money to get that money. And the fact that whoever is just sending this very clearly grifter just millions upon millions of dollars worth of Ethereum, it's kind of mind-boggling to me and crazy and annoying. But if you send him money and you lose your money, you should not be surprised. That should not be something that is shocking to you. Because, like, what the fuck did you expect? You know what I mean? How many coins has he launched? He has PSYOP. Then he did Bencoin, which he managed to sell to BitBoy for a bunch of money. Then he has the orange ticker one. Then he has Loyal. Like, I don't know. It makes me wonder if we have way lower to go if people still have that much money to send to that guy. This chat is full of complete shitcoins. Exactly. That's the point. I mean, listen, BitBoy and him are both Americans who are doxxed. And they're doing that kind of shit. Like, they're raising money for an unregistered pre-sale of tokens with the expectation telling people that you're going to make money buying this. Like, that is like securities fraud. Like, that breaks so many laws. And if the SEC is going after crypto hard, I don't know. They might want to be careful. Oh, then he has another one called Finale. So there you go. Yeah, launched 4 or 5 and all of them rugged. Who is surprised by that? Mezzo says, why trade with your own money? Go funded. I have funded accounts. I use prop firms. Obviously, what's better than a prop firm is your own fucking money, right? Like, I think prop firms are great. And I think they're a great tool for a lot of people. But if you have your own money, you can take more risks. You keep 100% of the profit. There are no rules around maximum drawdown and things like that. So if you're a prop trader, I think you should be leveraging those prop accounts to build up your own personal account. Not to mention the spreads on most prop firms for crypto are not good. Okay, VRA. I mean, could this dump any lower? I don't know. So, like, we're all the way back at this initial consolidation, right? Here's our initial consolidation. We're all the way back here. You know, similar to Joe, we have a monthly breaker here. The difference is Joe closed through that previous high. This one did not, so it's not as nice. But again, you have a low, a lower low, and then a nice impulse, and now we're retesting. So this is an area where I think it's worth looking for buyers to step in, right? It's worth looking here. So similar to Joe, I'd probably mark out some of these lows here. I'd say, okay, maybe a sweep of these lows into this demand is the juice I need for a move higher. Right? So I think either from where we're at right now, this order block here, right? Or a sweep of the low, that would be where I would get interested in potentially, you know, longing whatever this is, veracity. But yeah, I mean, this is way down from all-time high. Potential signs of reversing, but still very early. I would need to see more candles form, but this is an area to pay attention to, in my opinion. Absolutely. Okay, guys. So yeah, almost 2 hours first stream. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. So again, quick shout out to the SmartX team. I've left all of their information in the description of this video if you want to check them out. Revolutionary decks. You want to go shitcoining, that's where you should do it. So thank you to them for sponsoring these new video series, Shitcoin Summers with Mayne. Every week I will be doing one of these videos. So if you have suggestions when I announce the video, what I'll try and do is I'll say, hey, leave your shitcoin suggestions below, and I'll pick a bunch of them and I'll go over them. We'll also go over the ones that we covered in this video and see if anything has progressed. Was I right? Was I wrong? Things like that. And I'll also just give you guys, you know, some alpha as we go. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy these videos. If you do, if you want to support me, best way to do that, engage with my content, like, subscribe, share the video, engage with my tweets, comment, all that fun stuff. All right, guys. So thanks so much. I'll be back with Markets with Mayne.